Hi everybody, I'm Jason and this is my pull list tag video. Basically what this is you have 5 questions you answer. You then tag 3 people. They then go and answer those same 5 questions, tagging 3 other people, and it just builds and builds from there. I'd like to thank Michael Moore for giving me the hot tag, and so I'm going to endeavour my best to answer these 5 questions. So let's get to those questions. So here we go. As of today, this is my monthly pull list. I'm not including any books that I've not picked up yet. Only books that I've already picked up at least 1 issue of are on this list. So here we go. In alphabetical order. We have Abe Sapien, All New Invaders, Avengers, Avengers World, BPRD, Hell on Earth, Baltimore, Chapel of Bones, Batman, Batman and Robin, Black Science, Captain America, Clone, Fantastic Four, 5 Ghosts, The Flash, Forever Evil, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corps, Justice League 3000, Justice League Dark, Lazarus, The Manhattan Projects, Manifest Destiny, The Phantom Stranger, Rocket Girl, Saga, The Saviors, Star Wars, Lucas Draft, Superior Spider-Man, Superman Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, 10 Grand, 3, Uncanny Avengers, Velvet, Wolverine, and Wonder Woman. So those are books. It's only when you kind of see them all written down that you kind of grasp in your head that actually, yeah, I buy a lot of books. But the way I always look at it is, you know, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. The only real expense in my life is my wife. So any money I get out, I've got left over when I've paid my bills and I've done everything I need to do with my money, bought food and all that kind of business. The money I've got left over, I haven't got any kind of other things, that recreational things that I spend it on. So it pretty much goes on comics. So that's my justification. But like I say, I enjoy the books I buy. So yeah, that's my monthly pull list. Next question, please. Strongest book on my pull list. This is a tough question. Because there's a lot of really good books that I love, you know, on this list. You know, books like Uncanny Avengers, Velvet, Saga, oh wow, Manifest Destiny, Green Arrow, which I just think that book had just so improved so dramatically under the current creative team. But if I had to pick the one, I think I would go with Wonder Woman, and the reason being is, before I picked up this book, I wasn't particularly that big of a fan of Wonder Woman. I didn't dislike the character, just there'd never been anything about the Wonder Woman character that had kind of got my interest. So, you know, now, after reading this book, I think I will always be a Wonder Woman fan now. It's a book that I'll always look out for. All the way through the run, Brian Azzarello has just done a fantastic job of creating this fantastic ongoing story that just keeps going strongly, and yeah, I'm just really loving it. So yeah, for me, right now, yeah, Wonder Woman would be the strongest book on my pull list, because it took somebody who wasn't that interested in Wonder Woman and made them into a Wonder Woman fan. Next question, please. Well, currently I think the weakest book on my pull list would be Fantastic Four. I had high hopes when it began with Matt Fraction writing it and Bagley on art, but then they just didn't really it didn't really click with Fantastic Four, did Fraction. He's done great work. You look at books like FF, Hawkeye, Sex Criminals, and they're fantastic books. But this was just one of those books where it just didn't click, and I don't know why. You know, you follow the guy on Twitter, and he clearly went back and reread a lot of the back issues and got to know who they were, but for whatever reason it just didn't click. And there's just a fantastic idea of them going through time and space to try and find a cure to what was wrong with them, which could have opened up to some brilliant stories, but it just never ever really seemed to click consistently. There were good issues here and there, and then at the end of the run, Marvel just seemed to totally give up on the book. Took Matt Fraction off. He went off to do other books that he's writing. Bagley as artist left the book, and it was like they threw it to the river and said, "Oh, we're going to relaunch it, so yeah, we can't be arsed now," which was a shame. I've high hopes that it's going to pick up and come back strong with James Robertson writing. But we'll see. But yeah, for now, I think the weakest book on my pull list would be Fantastic Four. Well, the books I'm definitely dropping from my pull list are Constantine and Pandora. Once the Blight story is finished, I will be dropping those books. Pandora as a character just hasn't really grasped me, and Constantine, I much more prefer, how he's written in Justice League Dark than how he's written in his own book. So those are two books that I definitely will be dropping. I'll be looking at Wolverine and Fantastic Four. We've got new creative teams on those books, so hopefully both of those books will pick up a bit more consistent. I think Paul Canal's done a decent job with Wolverine, but I don't think the art really helped him, and I don't think the ideas were consistent. And I'm hoping with Ryan Stegman coming on board, who's an artist I'm a big fan of, that will help the art side of the book really pick up, and hopefully will help Cornell as well with his story. The better art is going to help hopefully tell the story better. James Robertson's coming on board Fantastic Four, which I'm excited about. I like him as a writer. But both of those books are two books I'm looking at possibly could be dropped. Also, I'm looking at The Saviours. I've loved the first two issues. Well, I really loved the first issue. The second issue I thought was alright. Not as good as the first, I don't think. But I like that character Thomas we get in that book. And I've seen interviews with James Robertson where he said that each arc of the book is going to feature a different character. So like for the first, however, say it's 5 issues, the first arc, we're going to follow Thomas and what happens to Thomas. And then the next arc will be a new character who lives somewhere else in the world and found that there's aliens here. And each arc is going to be somebody different. And I don't know, that could be quite jarring. I don't know how that's going to work. Because for me, I know one of the motivations for me to keep picking up a series is I get to care about the characters and I want to see what happens to those characters. So if you keep changing those characters, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. So that's one I'm looking at. Maybe The Saviours might be one that goes by the wayside if maybe the future arcs I might not like the characters as much. So yeah, that's pretty much the books that I'm looking at dropping. So now, books I'm adding. Well, there's quite a few books coming up that I'm going to be adding over the next couple of months. Some of the books that I'm reading that are mini-series or events or even just audio books are coming to an end. And so like there'll be a lot of spaces coming up on my books. So that obviously opens the opportunity to add a few more books. In April, I know for sure, Amazing Spider-Man I'm adding. Peter Parker's back. Right there is the reason why I'm picking that book up. We've got Hulk coming out, which I just really love the Hulk character. I like Mark Waid's writing. I felt Indestructible Hulk, I personally dropped it when it got tied into Age of Ultron or the aftermath of that, because I was just so disappointed with the end of Age of Ultron that I wanted nothing to do with anything tied to it. So I dropped it, but then I fail. Sometimes with books they can get kind of bogged down with events and it really hurts a book. So hopefully this new Hulk book is going to stay free of event tie-ins. Also in April we got Batman Eternal, which I'm definitely picking up. It's going to be a weekly, so it's a bit of a commitment, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think it brings really interesting creative challenges, like art-wise as well as writing-wise, you know. I think writers can probably manage to do something like on a weekly format, but I think it's where the art comes in that's going to be a bit more difficult. So it'll be interesting how they get around that and how they work that. Let's have a look. What else is there down here? There's 2 books that I'm going to pick up that I just have no clue when they're coming out. There's Justice League United, which is going to replace Justice League of America. It's going to be based in Canada, I understand. And I'm always interested when I see a book that is, you know, not set in the United States, you know, and it's any anti-American biased or anything like that. But, you know, the comic book companies are American companies. So the majority of the stories are going to be based in America. And I just think it's nice sometimes to read stories that are maybe not set in America. You know, and really most of the books that aren't set in America are set in outer space. You know, There's not that many Earth-based books that aren't based in America. So yeah, I think that's going to give Justice League United a different kind of feel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like they did Justice League International, and that was still their base was still in America. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to Justice League United. Flash Gordon as well from Dynamite is coming out, but I don't know when. I heard it was coming out in April, but I've not seen nothing for it. As a kid, I loved that film, Flash Gordon. It was one of my favourite films. I watched it so many times. I recorded it off the television and I just watched it over and over. And plus, then there was a cartoon show on the TV that was really good, Flash Gordon cartoon show that I recorded. And there's kind of like a Flash Gordon cartoon movie as well that I remember I recorded, and I just would watch them over and over. I just loved the whole thing with Flash Gordon, this ordinary guy who goes to this planet and becomes this hero. So yeah, I really loved Flash Gordon, so I'm looking forward to seeing a comic book of Flash, so that should be good. I've just added the Green Lantern books back to my pull list. Green Lantern, that being Green Lantern Corps. I'm looking at adding Red Lanterns. There's a lot of cool, interesting stuff coming up, and Charles Soule at the moment, everything that he writes just turns into comic book gold. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that book, and I could be adding that one as early as this week. You know, I got issue 25 today. I'm gonna read that, and if I enjoy that, I'll pick up the next 2 issues tomorrow when I pick up my comics. As well as that, I'm looking at Green Lantern New Guardians, though I'm a bit cold on that, not sure if I'm going to jump on that one as well, but that's one I'm looking at possibly getting as well. 2 new books that come out tomorrow. We've got Lobster Johnson, Get Lobster. It's written by Mike Mignola, who does like BPRD, Alan Earth, and Hellboy, and Abe Sapien and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I enjoy his other books. So I'm not quite sure if books like Baltimore and Lobster Johnson are kind of in the same universe as Hellboy, but at different times, but because they're set in the past. I don't know, but it's certainly written by the same guy, so I'm looking forward to having a look at Lobster Johnson and seeing what that's like. And then we've got the Punisher. Loved Greg Rucka's Punisher, but I don't know if I just love the way he wrote that character or if I really like that character. So I'm really looking forward to finding out with this new Punisher which one's the case. Also, I just love the idea of moving him to LA, taking him out of New York, where he knows everything, where he knows where everybody is, and he's got all these things laid out, and putting him in a new environment, I just think can really freshen the character as well. So all in all, yeah, those are a lot of books I'll be adding, but like I said, I've got a lot of books that are finishing, so hopefully it won't increase my pull list too much. So yeah, that's been my video. Leaves me the duty now to tag 3 people. With the appliance of science, I'm going to get those names up right now, so I get their YouTube angles quite get them correct. The 3 people I'm going to tag are Gambit 896, BA Comics, and Marvel DC Fans Reviews. Yeah, you guys have been tagged in. Leaves me just to say thank you very much for watching my video. I've been Jason the Dude. This has been the Pull List Tag. Bye for now.